Your day in their darkest.
That title.
It really hit me later on where I kind of put it all together around 2001, 2002, when I was doing a movie where I was, again, kind of going back to the way I did Mariachi. I was on a big movie, though. I was the writer, the director, the producer, the cinematographer, the editor, the composer. I was doing all these things. Plus, I was doing production design now, and I was taking on more jobs to make it more like a handmade film, more like a lot of factory movies were being made. I said, I want people to feel different. I think they'll get a feeling from it they don't get from, a McDonald's process. Right. They're still good, but, there's something about a home-cooked meal. And I didn't even know how to read or write music, and I was writing music for a 100-piece orchestra. And I was like, how am I figuring it out by notes going, there's only 12 notes. So you go, even less than a scale. So you hit 3 notes, 4 notes. That's not bad. That's a bad note. Okay, that's pleasing to the ear. And I was just writing it note by note because it's a kid's movie. So I figured it should sound like a kid wrote it. And I'm like a kid. It should sound like that. And I was writing pretty complex stuff, not knowing what I was doing. I go, how is this even possible that I'm doing all these jobs I wasn't trained in? So I went on Amazon and I looked up any book that had the word creative or creativity in it. I just ordered it. I don't know what section it came from. They just arrived. And I'm thumbing through them. And one of them was really speaking about the creative process, how it worked. And I was like, wow, that's how it is. That's how it is. And then it said gels and mediums. And I was like, oh, this is a book particularly about painting. But it applies to all the other things I'm doing. And that's when I realized that it's all linked. Yeah. That creativity is 90% of any of those endeavors. 90% of it is just being creative. The technical part, like reading or writing music. And there's a lot of great musicians who don't read or write music. They're fantastic. The technical part, you can fudge that, like how to shoot the movie. You can fudge a lot of the technical stuff. 90% is creative. And if you know how to be creative, you can literally jump from job to job and do it really well because you're coming with your own experience, your own point of view. That's why I teach my actors to paint on the set, because they've never painted before. And they're already being creative by acting, but in between takes, we'll go paint a portrait of their character, where I take a photo of them in character and have them paint a background. So just pick up the paint. You can use these 3 methods, any color you want. The paintbrush is going to know where to go. Even though you've never painted before, it's going to know where to go. And they do it, and I put a stencil of a line drawing of their face over it. I'll show you some. You're not going to believe it. Josh Brolin was way into it. Lady Gaga did one. Bruce Willis did one. And it's just like magic how it comes together. And it's to teach them that you don't have to know. We always think, I need to know this, I need to know that. What about the other side? Half of the battle is knowing. What about the other half? Not knowing, I think, is the more beautiful and where the magic is, because you don't need to know what's going to happen. You just need to show up. You just need to pick up the pen. You need to do the keyboard because it just starts coming through you, and they see it, and it helps them go back to the set and solve any creative problem, because it was much harder in the paint room figuring out gels and mediums and all this stuff. They go back to the set and they can solve any problem instantly. And you'd think that they're already in a creative mode by acting, but it fires off a whole other part of your brain to go do something else creative at the same time. Remember on the set, Josh goes, is it okay? I'm still thinking about the painting. I go, I think so. I think it's all right. Let's see.
That sounds like something he would say to you.
It's so funny.
That's like a Miyamoto Musashi quote from the Book of Five Rings.
Right.
Once you know the way broadly, you can see it in all things.
Yeah. You start seeing, and so that's where I started piecing together that it was something, because I really wanted to look it up, because it would feel like when I would go to write the music, I don't have to write very many notes before it feels like I'm being pulled by the hand. Like I didn't make that. Right. And I didn't do that. And I didn't do that.
A lot of musicians say that. And a lot of comedians say that too.
Well, if you ask all the disciplines, like I asked Jimmy Vaughn, how did you play that? That solo was amazing. Did you have that worked out? It's kind of like tuning a radio. If you get it just right, you can't even believe what's coming through.
Yeah.
You always hear everyone's version of that. And so I called it something. I thought, I'm going to call it the creative spirit. Like there's a creative spirit. Imagine the creative spirit that's assigned to you. And if you're someone who's just like, I don't think I can do this or that, and they don't pick up the pen. They don't actually start. How frustrated that spirit
is hovering over,
going, oh my God, will you just pay? It's not you. It's not you. Will you just let me through?
And it's crazy that concept has been around forever. This concept of the muse, but yet still,
I never heard it like that, where it's like it still feels like you have to do a lot.
About it.
You just go, I just need to be a pipe.
Yeah.
A clean pipe, a conduit, so more stuff comes through, and that means take your ego out of it. I mean, just do the work. Just show up and start.
Yeah. Pressfield literally thinks that it's like an angel or like some sort of a divine presence that presents you. I think there's something to it, man. And it sounds so kooky, but if something is super successful for amazing people and they're all telling you the same thing, like, why do you have to, nah, man, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to believe in the concept that whatever the fuck it is, there's something that happens when you're creative where you feel like an antenna. You feel like you just these ideas are coming to you. They're entering into your mind. It's not physical effort. It's not like you're picking up bricks and stacking them on the wall. Like something is happening to you.
Yeah, you're tapped into, I had a friend of mine, Tim Ferriss, was over at my house, and I was telling him about some kind of, it's a very creative house, really, because that's where I do a lot of my creative work. And a lot of creatives like coming to this place. And so you have to come check it out. So you can see the Frasettas I have.
Oh, you have original Frasettas?
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
Oh my God.
But it's just totally. You have so much your favorite Frasettas. Totally creative place, and I like people to come there. But it's just inspiring to be in an environment where everything around you is about creativity, because then you get in that headspace, and you're able to do more because you realize it's not you; it's just coming through you, and you just have to witness it, and it just takes a lot of the load off of you. A lot of people can start easier if they know, oh, it doesn't have to be me. Like my kids, like, oh, it's not. I don't have to do it. I just have to actually pick up the pen. Yeah, it's very freeing.
Yeah, it's something that everyone should learn. With anything in life, anything that you're doing in life, is just to take action and trust this process that happens.
Yeah.
But you have to do things. You can't just sit and wonder. And it's that procrastination and the anxiety about starting that's like crippling for people. It keeps them from getting off the ground.
And they're doing that to themselves. You're literally doing this to yourself.
Yep.
So when you say, well, I don't know if I can, you just chopped off your leg right at the beginning of the race.
Right.
And you go, well, I tried it once before, and you just cut the other one off. I mean, you're literally doing you're your own worst enemy. I had this one gal, and fear of failure. This is the best thing. One gal in one of the talks, she said, okay, you're real positive, but what do I tell myself when I just spent a year and a half doing something and it didn't work out? I said, well, that's a very negative way to ask that. Can you rephrase the question first, then I'll attempt? And she went, I learned a good lesson the hard way. I said, no, that still sucks. If you're focused on the failure, if you followed your instinct and it didn't work out, it doesn't mean you're wrong. Sometimes the only way across the river is to slip on the first two rocks. It's the only way. And if you just stay there, you're not going to go. So you have to embrace the failure. Because if you're going on instinct, I mean, you're doing it literally on instinct, not like someone said, hey, go over there, there's a money-making scheme, go do that. Literally, you had the instinct. And my best example was 4 Rooms, a movie I did with Quentin. Because if you study the ashes of your failure, you'll find a key to your next success.
That was the movie where there was four different stories playing simultaneously.
Yeah, 4 different movies, 4 different stories. And I love short stories because I had made a bunch of short films. I thought, I want to do that. So when Quentin asked, and I asked the audience, I like asking the audience, how would you answer this? Quentin goes, hey, I'm going to make a movie called 4 Rooms. 4 different directors. You got to use the bellhop. It's New Year's Eve. You're in a hotel. You can't leave your hotel room. You want to do it? Hand goes up. Just on instinct. Now I ask the audience, was I wrong to just go by instinct, or should I study it a little bit? Nobody really knows the answer. What would you say? Would you study? Are you more studious? Are you more instinctual?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm primarily instinctual.
I figured, because that's why you're here right now. Because we're not that smart. I'm not that smart. I couldn't have figured this shit out. It's because I was just at an instinct to go that way when everyone else was going that way. And you're going to stumble. You're going to fall. But you're going to stumble upon. You're going to stumble upon ideas no one thought of because you're going the way that's not picked clean already.
Right.
So I just like 4 Rooms. I said, yeah. Now, if I had just studied a little bit, I would have seen that anthologies like that never work. Like even when it's Scorsese, Woody Allen and Coppola, they did one. Nobody goes to see it because they don't know how to wrap their head around it. What is it, 3 movies? An anthology? It doesn't work. If I'd studied first, should I have changed my answer? Nobody knows that answer. So, well, I'm going to go on instinct. I say instinct anyway. Movie bombs. Doesn't do well at all. Now I can be really upset about that and go like, wow, I got to be really careful now going forward. I have to tiptoe around as an artist. Well, that's not the state of mind I was when I won Sundance. I was throwing stuff out.
Can I offer a counter to that?
Sure.
It only bombed financially.
Okay, no, I'm not done with the story.
Artistically,
the lesson
is a very good movie.
There's a lot of great stuff in it, but this goes even better than that. My whole thing is examine the ashes of your failure. And I don't find one. I find 2 keys in there to my biggest movies directly from that experience. So my instinct was right, but again, sometimes the only way across the river is slipping on the first 2 rocks. I was on the set. Had to be New Year's, so I dressed everybody up in tuxedos. And Antonio had just done Desperado. The next week, he came and appeared in there. The little boy from Desperado, he had a little brother, so I hired him. And then I just found the best little actress, who was a half Asian girl, Asian American, so I cast an Asian mom. So it would look like they were family. So I'm seeing Antonio and Tamlin Tamita all dressed up to the nines. I went, wow, they look like a really cool international spy couple. What if they were spies and the 2 little kids who can barely tie their shoes don't know it? They get captured and the kids have to go save them. So Spy Kids, there's 5 of those now. The other key to success that I got on that set was I love doing short films. That's why I signed up for it. It didn't work, but I'm going to try it again. Not 4 stories, 3 stories, like a 3-act structure. Not 4 directors, but the same director. I'm going to try. Why on earth would I try it again? Except that I had just done one and I figured out there might be a different approach. That's Sin City. So Sin City and Spy Kids directly came from that thing you would call a failure. If you focused on the failure. Wow. So go back and look, tell everybody, go back and look at something that you had a real instinct for, that you did and it didn't work, and sift through the ashes of it. And you're going to find either that you've already had the success from it and you didn't realize it, which you really need is a boost of confidence in your instinct, or you will find something that will be the key to your success.
Well, that's also the magical part of the creative process is that it's not always going to work. And that's actually good. Yeah. That means when it does work, it'll be even more rewarding.
Yeah, I mean, Mariachi didn't work.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. It's the end of tax season, and I know by now you all are probably sick of numbers. But there's one more expense we need to talk about, and that's how much you're investing in your well-being. The cost of traditional therapy can be outrageous, between $100 and $250 a month or even more. So how do you get the help you need without blowing your monthly budget? Use BetterHelp. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you money and time. It could even help you save up to 50% per session, and you still get quality care. Therapy is a good tool everyone can use. Whether you've experienced a major trauma or not, it can teach you valuable skills you can use in your everyday life, like how to better manage all that stress tax season brings, or how to communicate better with your partner, or even how to be more mindful. Use BetterHelp to work towards your goals at a reasonable cost. It's also more convenient since everything is online. It's easier to work in a therapy session no matter how hectic your schedule gets. And as one of the largest online therapy platforms, BetterHelp has access to thousands of therapists with all sorts of specialties, so you can find the right fit for you. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/JRE to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JRE.
I failed at that. I was going to sell that to the Spanish home video. This what blew me away about rereading the book. I went, oh my God, I was so bummed. I finished making that movie. And you see in the book, clearly I'm a penniless, clueless filmmaker. Making this movie, I think by myself, I think it's going to work. I don't know. A borrowed camera. I didn't even know how to use it. I call a place in Dallas that rents this equipment. I go, I got an Aries 16S, on the phone. It has two motor-looking things. One has one number and one's got many. Oh, that's a variable speed motor. It means can I do slow motion with it? I was literally learned like that. And then I went and shot the whole movie. I had to shoot the whole movie in 2 weeks. And I couldn't develop the film until I got back. So I shot blind, not knowing if that camera was even working.
Is it true that you invented the walk away with the explosion behind you?
Yeah, that was
you
accident.
Invented that?
Yeah. If you look at all the compilations, it starts with Desperado.
Wow.
Because it was an accident. I didn't think, this is what happened. So in Desperado, in the script, it says he throws some grenades over the side of this building to blow up the bad guys, and him and Salma walk away. He was just supposed to see some body parts fly. It was just a grenade, it was supposed to be a nuclear explosion. Just some body parts, some shrapnel, and some smoke. But it's 2 stories up, and we get there, we're shooting so fast. I went to my poor effects guy who was just, so busy just having done a big shootout. And I went, man, I know you don't have body parts we didn't ask for, but do you have anything we can just throw? It's so high up. Is there anything you can launch up there? And he goes, no, I don't have anything. So I need something to come up because I wanted some shit to fly up behind him. He goes, I'll give you Fireball. I said, Fireball? Like what? It'll go up 60 feet, but it's propane, so it's going to burn off like that. How fast does it burn off? Like that. So, okay, I'll shoot slow motion. Okay, we'll shoot slow motion. I tell the actors, just keep walking. Don't turn around. 'Cause it's supposed to be pretty big, and it might be really hot. I want you to singe your eyebrows. Just walk fast. Walk fast and determined, but I'm going to shoot. It's going to feel funny, but when I shoot it in slow motion, it'll look like you're just walking normal speed, and it'll slow down the explosion. Well,
Whoa.
It looks fantastic. I remember when I showed.
Is.
Yeah, it looks. See, they're just walking. They don't know. Look at Tonio's just like, look at her. She's just like so calm. But if you sped that up and played it in normal motion, it goes by like that.
It's crazy because that scene has been copied so many times.
It became an action staple. So
they even used it for Fear Factor.
Yeah,
now that I'm thinking about it, we used it for one of the ads for Fear Factor. There's me walking away, and they blew some shit up behind me.
Because it's just it's this cool attitude and with the music.
I thought it was the dumbest shit ever. Because it was a TV show.
Oh no,
about
but it's
people
still
eating dicks.
Well,
it wasn't
it's
an
kind of silly
movie.
there, but it was just an accident. Again, the accidents
There
that you
it is.
stumble upon. There you go. All right,
That's
where that came from.
hilarious.
So that came out in August of 1995. Just 6 months later, Dust Till Dawn came out, and I made that. I enjoyed it so much.
I fucking love that movie.
Oh, thanks.
I love that movie.
I showed this explosion shot, the movie to Jim Cameron, and he was watching it. I was waiting for he was doing movies like Terminator 2, blowing the shit out of everything. So I was wondering if he'd like my little rinky-dink thing, and his hand went up in the air when he saw that moment. So I thought, okay, I'm doing that. I'm going to do that. Dust Till Dawn. Dust Till Dawn, I had it where the actors come out doing the dialogue though, and the explosion just keeps going, and they're walking away while having a conversation.
Yeah.
So within 6 months, you saw 2 versions of that. So people just started doing. You see it in Man and Fire. You see like whole compilations of it. But
That's got to be weird for you. Like you're like, bitch, that's mine.
No, because it wasn't mine. Again, it came.
Course,
If I had engineered it, I'd be really smart. But again, like I said, I'm not that smart. Sometimes
But
you
it's gotta
stumble
be pretty
upon.
cool that it's become like a part of like action films.
Yeah.
Dust Till Dawn is so. First of all, who knew Quentin Tarantino would play such a good fucking psychopath? Who knew?
What's so fun is he's in Desperado now. I met him on the film festival circuit. So in 1992, we both had movies with guys in black, in violent movies. In fact, I met him at the Toronto Film Festival for Reservoir Dogs. I had mariachi. Because they put us on a panel together to discuss violence in the movies in the 90s, even though it was only 92. And so we met there, we became friends. And he said, my next movie is Pulp Fiction. And I just thought, this crazy guy, he's so funny. And I said, I'm going to write him into Desperado. It was before he did Pulp Fiction or any of that. So by the time Desperado came out, Pulp Fiction was a phenomenon. And then people cheer when he walks on set. But when we were doing that 4 Rooms, here's another thing that came from 4 Rooms. If I hadn't done 4 Rooms, there'd be no Dust Till Dawn. When we're doing 4 Rooms, he takes me into a room and he starts reading me. And it's on the internet, I put it out. Him reading me the first scene of Kill Bill. This was 8 years before he made the movie. And then he said, my very first script I wrote, and I didn't get paid shit for, like $1,500, was Dust Till Dawn. And now, because of the success of Pulp Fiction, they want to make all my old stuff. And these producers have it. I didn't get paid dick, so I'll do a rewrite, and you and I will go in together. You should be the director because it takes place in Mexico, and you're Mexican. So I was like, all right.
Wow.
That's the second time he read me a scene in 2001. There's one video where he's even younger in 4 Rooms reading me a second version of it. So over the years, we had an office next to each other when I was writing Desperado and he was writing Pulp Fiction. So he'd read out scenes, there he is. And I would read out, show him scenes from Desperado.
Fuck.
And we just became friends there. He was originally going to make Pulp Fiction for TriStar, and then they passed on it because they thought, it's weird, it's long. And he did it for Miramax.
Did he want to be the serial killer?
I asked him to. Because I knew he liked acting, and I just knew him as a person. Like a lot of times I'll cast somebody just by meeting them. I'm going to cast you in because you realize there's something about them that captures you that's going to just be magnified when you put it 50 feet on screen. That's why I discovered a lot of talent that way. That's how I found Salma. I just knew she was going to be it. But he was so great. And I thought, this is a really fun character. I bet he likes act. I can get a performance out of him, and he'll come in with a take on it. So I said, I'll do Dust Till Dawn. Would you be interested in playing Richie? He goes, I'd love to play Richie. I said, okay. Well, so he was the first person we cast. And he's fantastic in it. He's really great. He's really scary. Got all into character.
He was terrifying.
Kind of had this really cool haircut. I showed him a picture of Burt Reynolds in Deliverance. Said, dude, you got the haircut of Deliverance. That was really cool. He's like, oh wow, he just really slipped into it. He was always in character, and he was always intense on the set. It was really fun to see him.
He was
get to
very
do that.
believable.
He really enjoyed that performance. I said,
mean,
dude, you're so good in this movie. Anyone talks shit, they're just talking shit. It's bullshit through gritted teeth. Don't listen to anybody. You're really great in this movie.
Yeah,
He
no one
stands the
can
test of
listen.
time.
You can't listen. Anybody's talking shit about Quentin in that movie? Shut up.
Oh,
He
yeah.
nailed it. He scared the fuck out of me.
Well, when you get a lot of success, people would tend to, the good issue with targeting,
Of course.
So they would say stuff about him and being in, well, he shouldn't be acting in his movies. Just
course.
bullshit like that. It's like, dude, they'll shut him up, and if it doesn't, it's just bullshit because you're really great in the movie.
Yeah, you just have to tune out the noise.
Yeah,
That's
how
all
do
it is.
you get past the noise?
I just tune it out. I'm busy. I stay busy.
Yeah.
I don't read anything about me. That's the big one.
Yeah, don't read that shit.
Don't engage. Like sometimes people send me things. I'm like, don't send me that, man. I don't want to read it. I'm not going to read it anyway.
Send it to you.
Yeah, friends.
Oh my God,
They don't know any better, or
yeah,
my
my
sister might
friends,
send me
yeah.
something. Yeah, it's just, I just
Hey,
go,
look at
just
this,
leave
it's
me
true.
out of it.
I got some really good advice early on. I like to share this with people. I share this with my actors because they get a lot of shit sometimes. I was afraid to even do like a bigger movie because I was flying under the radar with Mariachi and Desperado, and then Spielberg sees Desperado, wants to do Zorro with Antonio and me directing, right? So I go, cool, I'm working with Spielberg. And it's like, oh shit, I'm working with Spielberg. You probably remember this time because we're about the same age. Remember the 80s and 90s? People would just throw shit on him all the time. No respect for this guy. They were so
Right.
jealous.
Yep.
Press, public, everything. He was like, he couldn't catch a break. And he was making like the coolest movie. That movie sucked. Jurassic Park sucks.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. So I thought, oh shit, it's because he's got his head way up. Maybe I should fly under the radar and not go if I can make a movie with him, what chance do I have? I went back and rewatched, like Temple of Doom, which people say, that's not as good as Raiders. I watched it and go, if I can make a movie that's an eighth of that, I'd be lucky. So I called them and
Bro, he
said,
made Close Encounters.
I know, Jesus.
That's fucking incredible
Great
movie.
movies. But you get that much success and then people kind of resent
Yeah,
it, right?
it comes
So-
with the territory.
Yeah, but how do you get past it? I was curious for him. So I said, hey man, I just saw Temple of Doom. I don't know how I'm going to make this movie for you. He goes, oh, don't worry about that. Just make a great movie. So then I go to him and I say, I'm afraid that if I make a movie at the bigger level, I'm just going to be a target like him. I mean, he's the best filmmaker and he's getting shit kicked out of him. I said, how do you do it? How do you do it? Do you get rocks thrown at you all day long? He goes, oh, Robert, you just don't blink. I was like, wow, it's like a Clint Eastwood line. I go, wow, that's how he did it all his time. It's just like, just don't blink. Commit to making a body of work. I try to tell filmmakers sometimes that they have a success for the first one, they get really afraid of the second one because they think, oh shit, now I might fail, right? The fear of failure cripples a lot of people. If you commit to just making a body of work, like he did. He just made any movie he wanted. Some hit, some don't. Some overperform, some underperform. A movie like Mariachi that was not supposed to go anywhere way overperforms. And you can't tell what's going to be the one. So just commit to a body of work. And now no one gives him any shit. Now
I think it's also important to recognize that the people that are tossing shit your way, they're doing it to distract themselves from the fact that they're not contributing anything. It's almost always the case of that.
Yeah.
That's what the critic is. The critic would not be a critic if they had something to contribute. So they see other people that are taking that chance and going out there and they're acting on their instincts and they're putting something together and they try to attack all those things as being garbage because really they're not contributing.
Yeah.
And so
they may very well
it's
want
very
to.
easy to attack.
And they may very well want to, but they're getting hurt
Most
by
of
the
them,
fear.
yeah. The
So it's like-
same instincts that make them want to attack successful people are the same things that hold them back from being creative.
Talk about closing that pipe.
Yeah, I mean, doing it to yourself.
Doing it to yourself and by doing that to the people. If they would just commit to a body of work, don't blink,
Right.
and just keep making shit, they'll get somewhere.
That's great advice. Commit to a body of work.
Body of work. Like, look
Yeah.
at someone, I mentioned this, and a friend of mine, a businessman, called me and said, wow, that really spoke to me. I tend to look at all the different businesses I have created that failed instead of looking at the whole body of work. And I fixate on the ones that didn't work. And it's like, you never know what's going to work or not. No, that's not your concern. Just go
Right.
make shit. Follow your instinct. Because again, maybe that one that didn't work is your 4 Rooms. And
Right.
you get 2 other great ideas out of it. I've forgotten that Dust Till Dawn came out of that as well. So that's the third one out of that
That's
4
awesome.
Rooms. That thing gave and gave and gave.
Dust
So
Till Dawn was so fun because it was 2 different movies. It was like this.
that's why he couldn't get made. So when he
Really?
first wrote it, he couldn't get made because people. Okay, so this is what happened. The effects company hires him, and they said, we want a movie that'll showcase our effects in this vampire bar. It's about 2 brothers go to a vampire bar. Quentin starts writing. He starts writing Quentin style. Where he gets way into the brothers, so much into the brothers, and it turns into like a Desperate Hours type movie. For half the movie, he waits half the movie to get to the bar. So now, for financiers, it's now like a mixed bag. It's like 2 movies in one, right?
Right.
But it was a negative then. It was like, this movie's all wrong. It's like suddenly it's one thing and then suddenly it turns into a vampire bar. We can't make this. But then Pulp Fiction comes out. And now everybody wants to make it. Oh, it's 2 movies in one. It's great. Whole different perspective change. Well, a little success will do for you. 4 Rooms. Oh, 4 Rooms. Oh, yeah, it's 4 Rooms. 4 times the fun, So you never know. So I told Quentin, let's make it right now. Because we made it our next movie right after 4 Rooms. So Desperado, 4 Rooms. So Desperado came out in August 1995. 4 Rooms in December. Dust Till Dawn was in January. That's how fast those came out. We were working that fast back then.
Wow.
So I said, let's make this right now because you're starting to steal from the script. That's Ezekiel's speech that Sam Jackson says in Pulp Fiction, that's from the original Dust Till Dawn script.
Really?
He just took it. He was pulling stuff out of it. 'Cause
Oh,
it was just
no,
like, not going to
he's
get made.
scrapping an old
So I said,
car.
before it gets picked clean, let's go make this thing, and we'll shoot it now. We'll go shoot it right now.
Wow.
And it was so fun. It was so
I
fun.
love that movie. So fun.
Cheech is so great. We did a table read. When we have a table read with your actors, you only have your main actors there. So sometimes you'll assign other parts to other people who are there. So it was like, Cheech, why don't you go ahead and you play the main guy at the end, but go ahead and read for the oh no, he made the guy who gives the speech in front. He was playing that character. Read for the border guard and for the guy who comes at the end, Carlos, who I was going to get like, Eric Estrada or something. So he starts reading and he does each one, because he's a comedian. He does everything in a different voice. And we're like, by the end, I was like, wow, he should play all three characters. And so I asked Quentin. Quentin goes, hey, what if we get Cheech to play all three characters? So I was thinking the same thing. So I go and tell Cheech. Cheech is just freaking hilarious. And he goes, hey man, you're going to play all three characters. Do I get paid 3 times? But this is why I love having comedians on the set, because we're out there shooting that desert scene, at the end when the Cheech comes and the whole place is burned down. It's 125 degrees in the shade. We're in Barstow in a dry lake bed. So freaking hot. We're all just like not moving. Someone had to go get something. We're all just, Cheech is like this in a suit with a hat. He goes, hey, Robert, this is going to be a walk. Can I go to my trailer? I was like, oh man, by the time you go, this guy's going to be back and we'll have to start. We should just stay right here. Okay, I'll go into my mental trailer. Okay, high school drinks, air conditioning. It just lines up the whole set. I'm like, okay, this guy's going to be in every movie. He's been in 10 movies of mine because it's that attitude. You like that attitude of somebody who can find levity and torture. Because
Looking for
sometimes
fun always.
movies can be torturous sometimes. So having people like that are really on your team that can really lighten up a set is just the best.
You've done so many different kinds of movies. It's so interesting because you never got, Quentin essentially does these wild, chaotic action movies that just blow you away. You do everything. Like you're doing like kids movies,
There's a
you did
similarity
animated
to them,
movies.
though. Yeah, there's a similarity to them. I'm still that cartoonist. So what they all have is they're all comedic. Like even the action movies are kind of just fun. I mean, think of Desperado. It's like a James Bond movie. He's got a guitar case that fires missiles. He's got this one that's got weapons. It's like Spy Kids is very much the same thing. It's just some are for big kids and some are for little kids.
Even Sin City.
Yeah, even Sin City is very playful.
Yeah.
The Sin City one was so dark. I remember the first book, the one that Mickey Rourke plays. It was so dark. I was going like, oh my God, it's going to be dark. I have to add some levity to this. And Mickey will bring humor to it. And it's the funniest episode. It's really funny. But he's in the book. It's just like, oh my God, he's just killing everybody. But you're really with him because of the way he portrayed it. We didn't change very much. We just added some humor to it. And that the gallows humor really helps.
Like when the yellow guy gets shot in the dick.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. That's a really good use of color.
That, by the way, was one of the fucking creepiest characters ever in a film.
And it looks like that in the drawing. And I just wanted to, my whole idea was, because I'm so respectful of someone's artwork. You read Sin City, and you realize that art is half of it. If anyone else in Hollywood were to make that into a movie, they would just make it like a gritty crime thriller.
Right.
And take out the whole visual element, which is that stark black and white where people's eyes glow in the dark. And,
Yeah.
and it has all these layers of unreality. And I went to Frank Miller and said, I want to just make this move. This is like the coolest movie never made. And he actually wrote it because he had been in Hollywood writing a couple of screenplays, and he got shit on and screwed around, the whole Hollywood thing.
Jamie, can you show me the scene with Mickey Rourke and the yellow guy?
Oh, this is Bruce Willis and the yellow guy.
Excuse me, Bruce Willis and the yellow guy. I just want to, like, while you're talking about this, I want to look at it.
And so he went and made this comic because he said, fuck Hollywood, I'm going to go make a comic that could never be made into a movie because it's so dark, so sexy, and so everything. And I'd call him up, man, let's make a great movie.
God, it's so interesting.
Oh, Bruce loved this. I gotta tell you this funny story. This is the fastest I think any Hollywood movie's ever gotten made.
Really?
I'll show you the process. It's kind of like this cards thing. It's gonna blow your mind. What is it now? It's April. Okay, so imagine this is 2004, April. Last year, I had 2 movies out. In the summer, it was Spy Kids 3D. It was the #1 movie. A couple months later, Once Upon a Time Mexico, another #1 movie. But also, both of them ended a trilogy that I had started. So I was looking for my next thing. And I opened up my Sin Cities again. I was like, oh shit, I know how to do this now. I just did a whole movie on green screen, which was really new back then for Spy Kids 3D because I wanted it in 3D. It was the first digital 3D movie. Because when you're in Austin, you just innovate a lot. George Lucas told me that. It's a good thing you're in Austin. That's why I'm in Marin County. When you live outside of that box, you think outside of that box automatically. You're just going to stumble upon innovations. So I thought, I'm going to go take this process and utilize it to make Sin City. So I did a little test of it. And I went, oh shit, this is going to work. So it was October when I got the idea. I filmed it. I contacted Frank Miller, met him in New York. I showed him my laptop. It looks like his art, but then it starts moving. It's an actor. And he's like, wow. And he gets all into it, right? It's November. And he goes, oh no, but then we have to write a script and the studio's going to have notes. No, that's not how it works. I got my own studio. I'll write the script. It's going to be unremarkable. I'm going to copy it right out of your book and I'm going to edit it down. I'm going to edit 3 of the stories together. I'll write it this month. We'll show it to you in December. And then in January, we'll get a couple of actor friends. And we're going to shoot the opening scene as a test. You don't give me the rights yet because I understand this is your baby. You've never given up the rights. I know what it's like for an artist to make something. Let me take all the risk. I'll go ahead and write the script. We'll shoot the opening scene. I'm going to fly you down so you can watch. We brought Josh Hartnett, Marley Shelton. That opening scene in Sin City, that was our test, 10-hour shoot day. And Marley Shelton comes up to me and says, why did I hire this guy to kill me? Well, I don't know. Let's go ask Frank. He should know. It's not in the book, but I'm curious myself. So Frank answered her question and said, I want to do this movie. No, let's wait. We had a whole process. I'm going to shoot the opening. I'm going to cut it together. I'm going to put in the effects. I'm going to put in the music. I'm going to put in fake titles. Then we're going to watch it. And if you like what you see, then we do the rights and we make the movie. If you don't like it and you're still on the fence about it, just keep it as a short film. Keep the gift. So we committed to the process. We make the opening sequence. He loves it. He wants to do it. I take it to Bruce Willis first, which was cool about doing it that way, which is unheard of. When I went to his agent was like, wait. He leans forward very dramatically. You brought actors down. Oh, because I told him, this is Frank Miller. He's one of our greatest artists. He wrote in Hollywood and he got screwed around. And the guy goes, welcome to Hollywood. You know, like that. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just respect the artist. So I just thought, hey, you'll be a partner. You're going to co-direct this with me. And we're going to make this. I'm going to take all the risk. You're going to come down. We shot this opening, which I have. I want to show it to Bruce so he can see the book. But then he can see how it gets translated. And the guy gets very dramatic. He goes, wait, you brought the actors down. You shot this. You did the effects for it. And you didn't have the rights? And I leaned in and I went, welcome to Texas. All these little monkeys spit out water. Frank was dying. It was super annoying. They said, okay, he saw it. He went, okay, you can go meet with Frank. Or you can go meet with Bruce. So I show it to Bruce and he's watching it. He looks at the book and he looks at the thing and he goes, damn, this is really great. And then fake titles come up. His name's in the titles. And I go, look, you have to be in the movie. Your name's in the titles. And he's like, I'm in. So he was in and we were shooting the actual movie by March.
Wow.
So in April, we're already done with it. We're filming the second story by April. It was out the next year. I mean, that's as fast as the movie's ever gone into production. All these actors jumped on right away once we had Bruce. And he loved doing this film noir type thing. And we're doing something very experimental, which is green screen. Nobody knew what green screen back then was. And what I told him was, well, it's kind of like theater. But instead of being in front of a black curtain, you're in front of a green curtain. You'll still have some props. You might have a steering wheel, like Clive just had a steering wheel. You might have, but just mainly you and the actors, and everything else goes away. And I'll fill in the later. So what's cool is their performances are so focused on each other because there's no other stimulus around. That you got these great performances. We only built the bar. Hey Frank, we'll build the bar so that we have a place to hang out with and do our story meetings. But everything else will just be on the same. You're gonna come see the green screen when you come visit my studio. The whole movie was shot in an area smaller than this room. By the time you bring your lights in, where the actors actually had the playground. It's unbelievable.
Wow, that's incredible. And it was so inspiring too. That movie was so, because when I left the theater, I remember thinking, I've never seen anything like that before.
It was like
that
the comic, because the comic was that way.
It was so different, and it just like when someone does something that really just steps up and enters into like kind of just a new area of art, because that's what it felt like. It felt like a real legitimate comic book art movie. And this is before 300.
Yeah,
300. So 300 kind of took that as well.
And they went Zach called and said, "How did you do that movie?" I said, "I just put out a DVD. I put all the secrets on there." And they went and they shot the same way.
It was such a good movie. And it was so fun.
Because it was also Frank Miller.
The thing about same thing. The thing about those kind of films where someone like does something new, it's like when you see something new, and I felt this way about Pulp Fiction too. You're like, wow, you leave the theater like everything's different. You know, like the world's different. Like that got made. Like this. Like I know. And the thing about people today, like young people today that don't know like how revolutionary Pulp Fiction was when it came out.
Yeah.
When it came out, it was like such a different kind of feeling that you got after you saw the movie. There's so many what the fuck scenes that you left that theater like, Jesus Christ. It's like the world was different. The world was different. Quentin Tarantino changed the world with Pulp Fiction. That's how profound it was.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating. It changed what was possible in film after that.
No, I was there during it. I remember the studios were just like, we don't understand why this movie's a big hit. We don't have anything like this coming out except your movie, Desperado, maybe, because Quentin was in it.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, we got our pulse on what people want. It's like we don't know. So I got to tell you early, two things. First of all, George Lucas told me that. He's like, I showed him the Sin City thing because we'd both been early adopters of digital, and DPs, directors of photography, didn't want to even look at digital. They were like, fuck that. They'd already spent all their time learning film. Which, by sticking your head in the sand and not seeing where the times are going, to the detriment. Now the cameras are designed and they don't look as good as they could look. Yeah. But they weren't a part of the conversation. Where I was shooting my own movies. I wasn't going to let some DP who didn't want to get in digital keep me from making Sin City, so I just shot it myself. I figured it out myself. So I showed it to Lucas and he was like, this movie will show people what digital's capable of, finally, more than the Star Wars movies I'm doing, because it's just so avant-garde and so crazy looking. But I only made it for me. I really wanted to see it made. I literally didn't think it would be successful on its theatrical run. In fact, we didn't even test screen it. They're like, can we do a test screen? I'm like, no, why? What for? Everybody's going to say it's black and white. Why is it black and white? Why are there 3 stories? That's all wrong. It's voiceover. That's all voiceover. That's all wrong. We know it's that way. Why would we go hear people tell us that that's not what a movie's supposed to be? Let's just put it out. I figure it won't do well theatrically because you'll just see the first trailer and go, okay, black and white is not for me. It's very counterintuitive, which is most of the things they do, just like always go a different way. But they'll find it on video later, and that's good enough for me. But then it was a big hit theatrically. Now, let me tell you about Pulp Fiction, because groundbreaking doesn't look groundbreaking to you or anyone around you necessarily when you're doing it. I've forgotten about this, but I journal. And I ran across an old journal, and I brought it up to Quentin when I interviewed him for my director's chair episode. I have a show called The Director's Chair. I interview writer-directors. His was so big, we did 2 episodes. We talked about all his movies. And I said, do you remember this time I found in my diary, right down to the hour, we went out to dinner. I mean, he was so into Pulp Fiction. Ever since I met him, my next movie's going to be Pulp Fiction. I visited the set. He was into it. He finished the movie. And I said, hey, because I live here in Austin, I get to hang out with him, except when I go to LA. How did your movie come out? He goes, yeah, it's not the one. It's like, it still feels like a movie Quentin would make. I'd be like, what do you mean? It just doesn't feel like a real movie. It feels like another movie Quentin would make. I was trying to be the supportive friend because I knew how much he put in. Well, it should be different. He's like, I just wouldn't have it. It's like 2 a.m. I was dropping him off at home after we'd been out. And so I went back to Austin, and he had a screening for all his director friends that I couldn't be at because I lived in Austin. So I called one of them, said, how was the screening? He was a little bummed about it. He goes, nah, this isn't the one for him. And I was like, really? So, yeah, it's just too, it's just not it. And I asked him this, and he goes, you're right. He'd forgotten about that moment. He goes, in fact, yeah, people didn't get it. And in fact, and he didn't get it either. He wasn't sure if it was it. In fact, one filmmaker even said, I want to sit you down and tell you all the things that are wrong with this movie, but I'll wait till you get back from Cannes. He goes to Cannes, he wins Cannes, and the friend left him a message saying, well, what the hell do I know? I've only made one movie. Everyone's mind was changed. So he was surprised by it too. So I just want people to hear that, because you're making something groundbreaking. It's not like you're going, I'm making something groundbreaking. You don't know that it's going to do that. Sometimes things overperform. That's why if you just commit to a body of work, you're not going to know which one's going to be your Pulp Fiction, which one's going to be your Four Rooms, know. And if you just do that, because I saw a lot of people get hurt. Like John Carpenter made The Thing. He thought he made a great movie. He thought he made an amazing movie. Bombs. Critics called it pornography at the time, if you remember. Like this, the makeup effects with audiences didn't go. It came out the same weekend, unfortunately, as E.T., right?
Why did they call it pornography?
Just because it was just so self-indulgent and gross and nasty. I mean, they really like reamed him to the point.
So the special effects?
Yeah, the special effects are really crazy. Yeah.
Really?
If you don't remember the time, it was really like that. There was repulsion towards this movie.
Wow.
I know you don't think that now, because 10 years later, and it took 10 years. No, it was not. It was not. 10 years later, it was suddenly considered a classic. Now, if he had committed to a body of work, he would have just let that roll off his shoulders and just don't blink. But it really fucks you up if you think, my instincts must be off. Well, I thought I made a great movie.
It's a great fucking movie.
It's a great fucking movie, but if no one else is saying that. So I asked Quentin, George Lucas had the same thing. He showed famously Star Wars to all his director friends. And they're all like, poor George, just wasted all his time on this movie. And Spielberg was the only one who was like, it's naive. It'll do good. And so I asked Quentin, was there anybody in that director's group? And he goes, yes, there was one. Catherine Bigelow. She was the one who was championed and said, this is something new and different. No one else was saying that. But that's pretty amazing, right?
That's super amazing. It's
really, and I would have forgotten it if I had not written it down. So
there's a lot of films that slip through the cracks for whatever reason, or they don't get received. You know what I saw recently that I fucking loved? The Monkey. Did you see The Monkey?
Yeah.
It's a Stephen King book that, or maybe it might be a short story.
Yeah,
it was
a short story. One of his.
It was adapted.
Skeleton Crew.
It's
or something.
fucking fun, man. I watched it with my youngest daughter. Loves horror movies. We watch a lot of horror movies together, and we were looking for something the other night. And we were like, all right, let's take a chance on this. Had no idea what it was. Watched the trailer. I'm like, are you in? She's like, okay, this is good. And so it's fucking chaos. It's such a chaotic, insane, hyper violent movie.
Right.
But funny and just, kind of scary. It was really good, man. It was fun. It was like a classic. What I really love about the early Stephen King work, like his early work was like.
Here's one that fell through the cracks. And I was there at Sony when we were doing Mariachi and Desperado when this movie came out. I remember the marketing team said, we have a really great movie. Unfortunately, no one's going to see it because of the title. So what is it called? It was Shawshank Redemption.
Oh my God.
And it bombed.
What?
Oh, Shawshank Redemption bombed.
What?
It was bomb.
How?
Nobody went to see it. It's called Shawshank Redemption. And what the hell is it? Guy's in prison? Nobody went to see it. And this is Sony marketing. They just couldn't get anybody to go see it.
Wow.
But history gets rewritten. Now, again, you can be Frank Darabont and be like really down. But fortunately, he didn't have to wait 10 years. As soon as it got to video, it became a phenomenon in video. And now it's considered, if you go on IMDb, it's always neck and neck with The Godfather as the best movie of all time.
Wow.
That's a movie nobody saw. So again, look, don't blink. Commit to a body of work. You may make a classic. It might be the thing, and you're not going to hear about that for 10 years. Just keep going. Don't let it make you question your instincts, because your instincts.
I would have never guessed Shawshank was a failure.
There's a lot of movies that are like
incredible.
That was a time when people could really get a second life on video. Now it's different with streaming.
Look at this.
And all that.
Opening night to see the audience to view their film, Darabont and Glotzer went to the Cinerama Dome and found no one there.
The Cinerama Dome.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Imagine just like, I don't know. I thought, as an artist, you're going to be going, I must be wrong. I must have just don't have the.
That's clearly a fault of the marketing.
No, it's also just.
I'm blaming them.
Yeah, because if anyone showed up, they would have gone and screamed it to everybody else. Sometimes it's just the way it goes. It's supposed to go that way. Now I'm going to tell you an alternate one. There's a movie called Body Parts with a guy named Jeff Fahey. I love that movie, Body Parts.
What's
by Eric
about?
Red. He did The Hitcher. You would never hear about it because the timing of it. And Jeff Fahey was a big Jeff Fahey fan. I remember in the early 90s, I kept going. I was at my mother-in-law's, and across the street was a $1 theater showing Body Parts. I'd go every night at 7 p.m. I'd go for $1. It was at the second run and watch it just to hear how an audience responds to it. And he was just great. And I just felt the connection to this guy. I go, I wish I was making movies because I would work with this guy. He's really a cool actor.
What is this about?
It's about a guy who gets in a car accident, loses his arm, and he's given the arm of a killer just to kind of just replace him. But suddenly he starts doing things.
Oh, I remember this.
Okay, so anyway.
That's the same dude that was Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, he was in Lawnmower Man too.
Yes.
So this should have been something that, was it for him. But this week it came out, they had just caught Jeffrey Dahmer like the week before. So they pulled back on the marketing completely. And so no one saw it. And so he didn't get that boost to his career. But the silver lining, the key in the ashes was me. I saw it every night. So when I went to do Grindhouse, he retired from acting. He was in Afghanistan. I asked for him to
He was
send
in
a tape.
Afghanistan?
Yeah, he was doing work out there.
What
He
kind of
sent
work?
me, I don't remember, some kind of, like helping people stuff. He sends me a tape. And so I hire him to be in it. And me. So I got, times like
Or went to the
was it for him, but this week it came out, they had just caught Jeffrey Dahmer like the week before, so they pulled back on the marketing completely. And so no one saw me. I saw it every night. So when I went to do Grindhouse, he retired from acting. He was in Afghanistan. I asked for him to send a tape. Yeah, he was doing work out there.
What kind of work?
I don't remember, some kind of, like helping people stuff. He sends me a tape. And so I hire him to be in it. And because he was in that movie, in fact, I'd already hired Michael Biehn. And I went, oh shit, Jeff sent me a thing. God, Jeff's great too. I'll just make them brothers. So they play brothers in Grindhouse. Because he did that movie, he got Lost, that show Lost. His whole career came back. So we were talking about it. I just recently was telling him, man, it just came out on 4K. You got to come see. You've probably never seen it. I've never seen the finished movie. And I said, you're great in it. I was showing him some scenes. It was blowing his mind. He goes, yeah, this movie didn't do well. I remember now. Why? Because the Jeffrey Dahmer thing just did it. And I went, that's just how it's supposed to go. But I saw it. And that's why I hired you. And that's how you got that second career later on. Because I was there every night because it was in the $1 theater so quick. I wouldn't have been able to afford it any other way. So that's how weird shit happens, right?
God,
it's like so cool. It makes you see
fascinating.
that you don't, it's just sometimes that's just how the balls roll,
It's just all interconnected
Yeah, somehow it's interconnected.
And you have to trust the process.
You just have to trust the process. I had someone in the audience recently, I was talking about brass knuckle films and getting everybody all stirred up about it. And one gal goes, you're real positive, but do you have any doubts? I was like, well, I've never been asked that question before. So whenever I don't have an answer, I'll ask them first, What do you guys think? How would you answer? How would you answer that? They ask you, do you have doubts? Do you have any human doubts?
Everyone has doubts.
Okay. So
It's what you do with them.
Right.
Do you let your doubts overwhelm you, or do you take them into consideration? Like, are these doubts valid?
right.
And what do I have to do to make sure that these fears don't manifest themselves as reality? I have to do extra work. Do I have to work harder? Do I have to be more objective?
Right.
You have to you have to take into consideration that anything you're going to do that's going to be exciting also carries the possibility of risk, and the risk of failure is a thing that keeps a lot of people from acting.
So if you're going to commit to a body of work, you're going to not blink.
You got to be well.
You don't have to worry about that
There's
stuff.
a jiu-jitsu expression. Well, a lot of people use it in MMA as well. You don't lose, you learn.
Yeah. So if you know that's the process, this was my answer. I said,
Yes.
no, I don't have any doubts. Because I like to be counterintuitive.
Yeah, your process is long. The thing is long. It's not a sprint. You're not running to a telephone pole. You're running to the other side of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So I told her, no, I don't have any doubts. Just to be counterintuitive. And I say, why?
Right.
Because if you understand the process, why should you have a doubt? You might fail, but it might be 4 rooms. You might, if you have an instinct to go there, or you don't know how you're going to do it, what's half the battle? Not knowing. That's where the magic is. I don't have to know. I'm going to figure it out when I'm almost done.
Some
all
people just
the
become
things come together.
Risk averse
Yeah,
early
risk
on,
averse.
and it becomes a pattern,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to break out of. And I always tell them, find something that you can have success in. Find something that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be a career. It could be a game that you enjoy playing. It could be anything, painting,
Yeah.
writing. It could be a thing that you
Because
enjoy.
you love it, you will have success at it.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I'm sure you were drawing too,
Yeah.
in school. I would be drawing all day in
All
school.
day.
I'd make these flip cartoon books in the sides of the dictionaries, paper dictionaries, flip cartoon movies. I'd get the dictionary as biggest and fattest, and I'd make these very elaborate stick figure animations, and everyone in class loved them, and I'd be like, I'm going to be broke.
I used to
I
do
can't pay attention
cartoons.
to class.
I used to do cartoons of the teachers in high school.
Yeah, and everybody loved 'em.
Yeah, I'd pass them around the class, and I got in trouble a bunch of times for it. And one time I had this science teacher, Mr. Holman, and Mr. Holman was very odd, very eccentric guy. And so I drew a cartoon of him behind his screen. So he had a screen that he pulled down where he could show like films.
Yeah.
And then when he pulls the screen up, he had no idea that on the chalkboard I had drawn this cartoon of him, and the whole fucking class starts laughing.
The power of the pen you had back then.
Yeah, it was
right?
like my first introduction to being a comedian.
Yeah,
It was
it's very satisfying. But,
Oh.
but did you think you were going to make a career out of that?
No.
of course not. You think
No.
I was thinking, oh my god, I'm going to be so broke. I can't understand what they're talking about. I'm way behind,
Yes.
and I'm not the best artist. So it's not
Right.
like I'm going to I'm some protege or something. So I'm fucked. But that's ended up being my career. Was just doing that stuff because you love it so much. I ask people, if you want to find what you're passionate in, what is that thing that you run off to do on the weekend?
Right.
I was always going to making movies, and I was doing that. Once you're done punching the clock all week, what is it that you go run to? That's part of your passion. Put more effort into that, and you'll actually find success doing it.
100%.
You put stuff together, suddenly opportunities are going to fall in your lap.
And if
so-
that's not it, at least you'll have learned that you could follow this process to get good at something or get really deeply involved in something, and you could apply that to other things. It might be a new
every
thing
other
that
thing.
you get excited
So
about.
this is what I applied it to because I'd forgotten this lesson, which was just say you're this person. Stop aspiring.
Right.
Our words we use are so powerful. If you
Right.
say, "Well, I'm probably not going to be successful," well, that's your lot in life. You just did that to
Yeah,
yourself.
self-defining.
So I had a friend of mine. I mean, like I always hated working out. I didn't follow any sports. Didn't know sports. In high school, they go, "We need you. It's a small school. We need you on the team. Look, you're tall and everything. You play basketball." But I don't know how to play any of these things. I hate working out. There's a line in the faculty that I gave to Elijah Wood because that was my line to teachers when they make me want to run. I go, "I don't think a person should run unless he's being chased," and they would leave me alone. But I hated it. And so then I became a filmmaker. Oh, when I was a cartoonist, my back kept going out. 19, I'm like, have a cane, and my back would be out for like a month because I would sit
Oh wow.
kitchen table drawing. I was so tall that it would throw my
Fucking
back
discs
out.
up.
I would just, disc would go out. And then when I started filmmaking, every year would just go out like clockwork. So I'm operating the camera, I'm operating the Steadicam. And when I was doing, Spy Kids 2, I think, with Ricardo Montalban had a bad back that he got surgery and it fucked him up. And he was in a wheelchair. He was paralyzed. So he's in a wheelchair and I'm with a walker because my back went out. And he goes, Robert, I'm 84 years old. What's your excuse? You got to work out, Robert. He was always in shape, Ricardo. That chest in Star Trek 2, that's his chest. I know. And he was in his late 60s or his mid 60s.
They fused his spine. Is that what they did?
Yeah, they did something fucking.
God damn it.
So
every time I hear a
okay,
story
yeah.
about him, I wish I could talk to that guy before he did that.
I know. And he went to a good place, but they just hit something wrong. They fucked him up.
It happens to so many people.
Yeah, so I go, okay, I don't want that to happen to me. But I don't know how to work out. So the next year I worked with Stallone. I got to get in shape because my back keeps going out. And I don't like to work. He goes, get thee a trainer. Anyone you ever seen in Hollywood who got in shape, they had a trainer. I go, what about you? Oh, I need a trainer. You need a trainer. Well, then if you need a trainer, Mr. Rocky, what chance do us mortal men have? So I hired a trainer. And guess what happened? Hated it. I'd hide from the guy. He'd come to my house. I'd pay him not to show up. I'd hate it. I'd hide. I'd call in sick. And then when he did get me, I'd be like half-assed in the workouts, because I hated it. And then 1 year, it was just torture. I knew I had to do it, but so this was my point, is that sometimes it's not a lack of desire. So when people really want to become something and not getting it, it's not because they have to change their mind. There's something that goes with it. Desire. I had plenty of desire. I was paying this guy. I wanted to get in shape. I didn't want my back going out anymore. I had the desire. I was missing another key element that I figured out. And it's a lesson I already knew, which was stop aspiring, but I forgot it. So this woman, a friend of mine from Mexico, shows up. She's a production manager. I have to stop smoking. My doctor said I have to stop smoking or I'm going to die. I've been smoking since I was 8 years old.
Oh, boy.
I said, well, you're going to go back to smoking because you just told me that's your identity. You've been doing it since you were 8. So right now you're a smoker who's not smoking. Eventually, you're going to conform to your identity. You have to change your identity. You have to say, I'm a non-smoker. I'm a non-smoker. Because what does a non-smoker do? Hate smoke. They get sick of the smell of smoke. She was like, okay, I'll try it. I don't know what happened to her, but I thought...
That voice is killing me.
She really talks like that. So then I go, wait a minute. Shit, I used to apply to filmmaking, but that's all I was back there. Where else in my life can I do a 180? And it's got to be a 180. Because if it's just a matter of degrees, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's much easier if it's just opposite day. So I went, oh my God, working out. I hate working out. Of course I hate working out. Because I tell my trainer and everyone who listens how much I hate it. I'm an athlete.
Ooh.
I'm an athlete. The last thing I would ever call myself, Mr. Cartoon Guy.
Wow.
I'm an athlete. By the next day, what does an athlete do? Loves to work out, makes time to work out, eats right. And it's got to be opposite day. It's much easier. I want to go lay on the couch and they just got to be, no, I'm going to go work out. Or there's a donut. Not going to cut it in half and eat half. That's bullshit. Those degrees fuck you up. Opposite day. There's a donut. No, I'm going to reach for an apple. Not only was I able to work out, this is 14 years ago. I didn't need a trainer again. Ever. I would just be like making myself do it because I'm an athlete. That's how powerful the mind is. So I was saying, if someone says, I want to go do this thing on the weekend, and you might have the desire, but you've got to get the identity too.
Yes.
You've got to say you are that.
Yes.
And it sounds a little awkward. Like I asked somebody, Alex Friedman, I said, you consider yourself a creative person? And he went, well, you know, he goes,
that's a good impression.
I said, you're stuttering there, man. You're stuttering. He goes, I know. I said, no, you got to say, and are you technical? And he goes, yeah, okay. You're technical and creative. That was the first thing that stuck in my ear. It's also what Jim Cameron is. It's also what George Lucas is. Technical and creative. When I first had my first job, my dad had a friend who owned a photo shop. And he said, go work for my friend Mario for your summer job when I was 16. I went to work for Mario, processing film for photos. And he gave me a camera and film and said, go home and take pictures with this because I need you to know how to use that camera so you can help me sell the cameras. So I went home and I'm from a family of 9 kids. 10 kids, 9 siblings. Taking all these pictures of them, doing cool stuff. Go back, he looks at the pictures and he goes, whoa, these are really creative. You're creative. You got to now learn how to be technical because most creative people always need technicians and technicians always need creative people. Now it's just a gift you have. They can never really be creative. They'll just be technical. But because you have creativity, if you apply yourself, it's against your nature, but if you apply yourself and learn the technical part, you'll be technical and creative and you'll be unstoppable. Ooh. And I was like, whoa, unstoppable at 16. He goes, here, go. I know sometimes, and I'm going to ask you about who did that for you. Because if you look at all the different turning points in your life, there was probably somebody who sent you in a direction. It comes through them. Because if I were to go back and ask that guy, hey, that advice you gave me, he'd be like, what did I say? I don't remember saying that. Kind of just came through him at the time.
Right.
So he pointed me that way. And that's why I went and made a mariachi by myself. I didn't want to take anybody because I wanted to learn. I didn't know how to use that camera. But if you go ask somebody to do it for you, your I need list, if you make a list of all the things you need before you can make your dream happen, the longer that list is, the less that's going to happen. You got to reduce it down to nothing. Me, my hands, my bootstraps, this camera, I'm going to figure it out on the day. Be technical and creative. So I told Lex, now you got to own it. When I say, are you creative? You go, yeah, I'm creative. And I'm technical. And I don't blink. And I'm going to create a body of work. And it's like, walked out of there supercharged.
Lex needs a guy like you in his life all the time. He's too self-deprecating. He's such a brilliant guy.
And it's nice to be self-deprecating. It's kind of a joke. But,
a little bit.
But the words you use on yourself are very
He beats
powerful.
himself up.
The words you use, and you're doing that to yourself.
Yeah.
The guy throwing cabbage at you on stage, look close. It's you. You're doing that to yourself. You're the one
he's
who's
doing
like,
it to himself.
you do that to yourself with your words.
He'll make like Twitter posts about how down he is, and I want to go over to his house and fucking shake him like a baby.
Yeah, dude, you're
Like, come
down.
on,
You
bro.
stay down. I have this theory called
cut the
baseline.
shit.
I taught this to my kids, and we just laugh about it and go, okay, when shit fucks up, when shit's not going right, don't be down about it. Don't feel like you're in a slump, because now you just stuck yourself in a grave, and it's gonna be hard to climb out.
Right.
When shit isn't going right, oh, tire's flat. Oh, I got fired. I call that baseline. You're a baseline. Anything above baseline. Like this right now, we're here having this great talk. This is way above baseline.
Yeah.
I'm on the Joe Rogan show. So way above baseline. Celebrate that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's not always there. Don't say that you're going to go down. You're just going to go to baseline. It's much easier to accept, and then you're not in a negative position. You're just kind of at a normal. I'm at a normal, and I'll really appreciate when anything above baseline happens. My daughter and I are about to go play an arena show. She's going to sing. I'm going to play with my band. I told her, way above baseline. We're going to get a nice hotel. We're going to really celebrate this, because this shit doesn't always happen. And when everything's going really, really wrong, baseline. Only when things are really down would you call yourself low, and you don't want to do that. Otherwise, you'll stay there for a much longer time. If you're just at baseline, that's just life. Oh yeah, I tried to go make that movie and it didn't work. Baseline.
That's such solid
Baseline.
advice.
It's really, it's mindset. It's all mind. It's all stuff you're doing to yourself.
Yes.
And these are things I like to pass on to people, because when they come back and give it back to me, I don't know if you give your kids advice as you learn it, because you learn so
sure,
much.
yeah.
You've got the best job in the world. You're learning all day.
Yeah.
So I bet you don't know if it's going to stick with them. I was shocked how much stuff not only sticks, but they come back and they feed it back to me. And
Oh,
go,
yeah.
Dad, it's just,
Well,
like,
they also-
it's just like you taught me. And I
They
go,
also learn by watching you do it. So
oh yeah, they've seen you move through the world.
yeah,
but
if you're the
they take-
dad and you're making all
Yeah.
these films, you're doing all this, you're involved, you have action. There's a lot of action. You're constantly in motion. You're doing things, you're creating things. That's inspiring to them. They like absorb that. If you're down on yourself all the time,
Oh yeah,
that's.
they go, okay, that's life, and I got to look. That's going to happen to me.
Or you can reject that and be the opposite. Like I have a friend and his family was alcoholics.
Right.
He's never had a drop of drink in his life, and he's like super disciplined because of that.
I'll tell you my secret. I've never done drugs.
None.
None.
Nothing.
I've never
Yeah,
been
you don't
drunk.
even drink coffee. You were saying.
I don't even drink coffee.
You were telling that story because it's so hilarious.
Oh, a friend of mine. What was his name? He was working at Sony when I first got there for mariachi, and I was like this kid, and there were people my age were assistants, and he was like falling asleep at his desk, and I'm like, why are you falling asleep? And he goes, I'm trying to get off coffee. And I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna get on coffee. Like I want those guys getting their hooks in me. And then over the years, he's like Starbucks showing up, and everybody like zombies going in there having to get their coffee. I went,
As I drink
it's
some right
fucking
now.
all marketing. All it's
beautiful
made to
drug.
be addictive, like nicotine and all that.
Oh,
and then your
100%.
body can't create that. And I already stay up for days as it is. You know, so I don't want anything like that.
Do you really?
I can stay up.
Normally?
I just did this. What's your favorite workout music?
Mine?
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan.
I just did the classic stuff like Van Halen and stuff. But
Oh,
I
that's
just did a
great,
music
too.
video for Wolfgang Van Halen, and we shot it in 2 days. And I was up 2 days cutting it because I just wanted to see what was
Whoa.
going to happen next.
2
I could
days?
not 2 days. I was just like, I want to see what happens next. You don't even notice. My shoulder's getting all fucked up. And I'm like, what's wrong with my shoulder? Did I pull a muscle doing some shrugs or something? I was like, I went back to sit in that chair. I was like, oh, because I've been sitting like this for 2 days. Sitting just doing this.
That's
Editing.
insane.
But it's really cool. It's great.
Don't you
freaking
hit a point
song.
of diminishing returns where it's like you're so tired that you really would be better
It's
off
different
sleeping?
with editing. Editing is a weird. I was thinking that as I was doing it. I go, I wish I could do this with writing, where I could just write for 2 days straight. But your words will knock me out, put me to sleep after a while. Editing is this visual stimulus, and you're so excited. And I kept going, okay, one more hour, and you just can't stop. You just can't stop because now you're seeing it. It came out so cool. It's gonna
38
drop
hours later.
It's gonna drop like next week. It rips your head off. It's a
Wow.
great workout song for sure, but it's just really entertaining.
That's
The kid's
incredible.
talented. He does all the instruments himself. On his
Really?
albums. Yeah, he plays every instrument. He plays the drums, the bass, the guitar, sings, writes the songs. When he goes on tour, he takes this really great band with him because he can't play all the parts. But the album's his third album. He's working on his plays all the instruments.
Wow.
Super talented. Really, really fun. But I like working with people who just do more than other people. They're just at that level, and it's so
Yes.
inspiring and inspires you.
It's
to do this
fuel.
stuff. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
fuel.
that's why I always tell people if you can surround yourself with other people that are really getting after it in life, it will 100% motivate you.
Completely.
In a different way.
Completely.
Instead of having that procrastination feeling, you get up excited.
You have to. And it's like, your parents tell you, be careful who your peers are when you're younger, because it means one thing.
Oh, yeah.
But later, even more. Like when I started going to the film festival, and there's Quentin. And then I meet Jim Cameron. And then you meet like George Lucas. It's like, you can't hang with these guys if you're not accomplishing something.
Right.
So then when they say, hey, what are you up to? Well, I'm down in Texas, and I got my own studio, and I'm pioneering digital filmmaking and green screen technology, and I want to make the first digital 3D movie. And they go, oh, okay, cool. So you can hang out. I'm like, oh, okay, I can hang out here for a while. I got to be doing something.
That's a great one.
I was
by the way.
like, but still, compared to what they're doing, when I first
Yeah,
met
but
Jim
still,
Cameron,
it's exciting.
When I first met Jim Cameron, that's why you don't want to be around people who you're the best. You're better,
Right.
You want to be the one that they're swinging higher
Yes,
than you.
yes, yes.
So surround yourself with those people and do something
Yeah.
so that they let you hang with them. But you want to learn. Like here's to Jim Cameron, for instance. When I met him, I really wanted to impress the hell out of him. So I said, I'm about to go do Desperado, and I can't afford a Steadicam operator. So I took a three-day Steadicam course, and I'm going to operate it myself on the movie. I'm going to operate the Steadicam, that big beast of a camera. And he went, I bought a Steadicam, but not to operate it. I'm going to take it apart and design a better one. So I was like, that's completely who he is. Us mere mortals are like trying to operate the thing. He's designing whole new systems. And if you think that's very consistent with who he is, that's the person you want to hang out with. Not someone,
Yes.
if the guy had said, oh, me too, I'm doing the same thing.
Didn't he go to the bottom of the Mariana Trench or some
Dude,
shit? In
so
a
he's got
submarine that he
okay,
designed.
It's only it's on his desk. It's like this big on his desk. This green machine, and I was looking at it, going like, weren't you afraid? I mean, I've got kids and a wife. You've got kids and a wife. Weren't you afraid of going down that deep and something happening? He was like, no. I said, why not? Oh, I designed the escape vehicle. So if any other bozo had done it, I'd be afraid. But because he did it, he had all the confidence in the world. Talk about someone, no doubt.
That's
no doubt.
so insane.
Isn't that hilarious? That's like great, though. That's him, though. It's like, yeah, if someone else had designed the escape vehicle, I'd be afraid. But no, I did it. So he had no pause at all.
That's
he
so
designed
crazy.
It. So that kind of confidence, that's like people you want to hang out with.
Yeah, that's a legitimate genius.
It changes your perception of life. And by osmosis, you pick up, I call it this proximity phenomenon. Like when you're just near, I took a painting class with Sebastian Kruger, a painter in Germany. I saw this class that he gives for a week. I went, I'm going to go do that class. Not to learn how to paint so much. I know I'll be a better director by learning paint, because it's that another way into creativity. Again, you just want to get better at creativity. So just do as many jobs as you can that you're interested in. Because if you just do one job, you barely know that job. You have to do all these other ones to kind of inform it.
Yes.
So I went out there. He doesn't teach you anything. He just paints. I'll show you the examples before and after. I thought for sure I did a pre-painting before going out there. It looks like crap. I went, I don't know what brushes he's using and the kinds of paints. It's a different method. He must have some trick. I go and he's painting this amazing Mick Jagger photoreal in front of us, and we all can paint alongside him. I go, what paint are you using? It's regular paint. What brushes are you using? Regular brushes. Well, how come I can't do that? I go back and suddenly it's a different painting. I'm going to try one more. It's more photoreal. When I show it to you, it's going to blow you away. It looks like I dropped the brush. I was like, holy shit. It's because I finally given myself permission to do it. Because you have the ability, but you're blocking it because you go, I don't know. There's something I don't know. So again, you're just chopping off your own leg. And by being around somebody who's doing it at that level, suddenly you can do it too. It's like breaking the M field. Like as soon as I made Mariachi, no one had ever done anything like that. Suddenly there's 10, 12, 13 movies made, very low budget, because they go, oh, it's possible. Now suddenly you can do it too. And when it's in the room, when you're right near it, it's just a phenomenon that you can just glean off them without them teaching you anything, just by being around and seeing how they move through the world and seeing them accomplish, and that they're regular people. They're just accomplishing at a high level. It just blows your mind. And
that's really important in stand-up comedy. I was
yeah,
having
right.
This conversation last night in the green room. We were talking about this area of the country that's falling apart, and I was like, comedy is top down, man. You have to have a bunch of assassins all working together in the same location. They all feed off each other, and then all the people coming up below, they see that. They see these young guys that are coming up. They see these people working really hard and constantly creating and hustling, doing all these different sets, and constantly working on new material, and they get inspired by it. And then you see these guys get Netflix specials and do it, and it's all happening at the club. So this club that we're doing in Austin is all about that process. And like we have specifically designed it to have 2 open mic nights, Sunday and Monday. So new people no fresh experience, get up there. People from all across the country moving here so they can be a part of the process. But there's like a real path to success that you can see because guys like Ron White are there, guys like Shane Gillis are there, Tony Hinchcliffe, and these young guys, Derek Post, and all these young guys that are coming up that are like really exciting. It's like it's really fun. There's like a vibe of creativity that everybody feeds off of.
I love what you've built. You've come here, you've only been here like 4 years, and you've already like built this whole community.
Well, it kind of built itself, man. It's the same thing we were talking about before with instincts. First of all, I had the instinct to escape LA. I was like, this is not going to change. This is going to get worse. I got to get the fuck out of here. And Ron had already been here. Ron was here in 2018. And once my family was interested in doing it, it was pretty easy. Because I'm one of those guys, like, I can just pick up stakes and go. I'm like, well, okay, life is different now. Let's live in Texas. Like, I want that. I like change. I like not having any fucking idea what's going to happen. I'm excited by that. And so then once we got out here, and then Ron's like, we got to open up a club. I'm like, okay, we got to open up a club. And so then I started looking for locations, and luckily the Ritz was available.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah, I'd been under contract for this One World Theater that was owned by Colt.
I remember that one.
That fell apart. There's a lot
Ritz
of
is cool.
issues.
It's right down there with all the
the Ritz was the perfect spot. When the Ritz was available, it was like, oh my God, this is it. And then when we walked in, and it was still the Alamo, so it was like set up for a movie theater with like the angled slope seating, and then we had to change everything, but I'm like, this is it. And then I started bringing in other comics to help me. I'm like, what would you do? And Louis C.K. came, and he was like, I think you should make the stage smaller. Make the stage smaller. I think you should make the ceiling lower. Make the ceiling lower. Like, so we were able to do whatever we wanted to do and design the club from scratch just for comics. And once everybody knew that it was happening, people just started moving here, man. So it was nuts.
You build it, they will come.
It really was like that. But it was like the universe wanted it to happen. And I say that it sounds so self-important. But
no, it's like, I believe that. It's just you're stumbling upon these
so
ideas.
many things had to happen in this order for it to happen this way. And then you had to have someone like me, who's accustomed to just going by instinct.
Yeah.
And I've always done that. My whole life, I'm like, fuck it, let's do this. I'm like, that's what I do. And so when this came up, I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to stop doing what you do now. Don't be a pussy. This is what you do. You're going to throw a bunch of money at this thing. Let's make this happen. And tell everybody you're doing it. And call all your friends in LA and call all your friends in New York. And come on down, man. We're making this happen.
Wow. I tell people that after Mariachi, it's like, I never thought I could get into the industry because I didn't live in LA and you need contacts and all that. So I just, again, I made a practice film. But then when it got bought and it was getting released, and it won Sundance, my practice film, I thought, I don't have to move to LA, but they won't even know I'm not there. Between an airplane flight and FedEx, I'll just stay here in Austin.
Right.
So for the past, 35 years, people are like, why do you live in Austin? I don't understand. It's like, now they're all moving here. But it's because you could just think outside of the box here. So yeah, and I would tell people, filmmakers who all thought they needed to move to LA, stay where you are. Build up your community around you. We built this amazing community of filmmakers here. All they made here were Westerns before that.
Wow.
Suddenly I was making Spy Kids, Sin City, these crazy movies that really changed. The ripple effects to the whole community is huge because you're changing the workforce.
Yes.
And so you just, by doing that thing, and it isn't like an instinct. It's like it's pre-planned. It's like it's pre-laid out.
Yeah.
I tell my artists, when you come to my house, you're going to feel it. You'll feel like these connections. And I go, I think we realize we're not that smart. We're not smart enough to predict all that stuff. I think we've lived this life many times before, and we forget a lot of it. So we have a barely impression of what we're supposed to do. But it's because we did it 1,000 times and we forgot it each time. Like a dream when you wake up from a dream.
That might be true.
Because, you wake up from
Good luck, have fun, and enjoy.
We got this.
Go. Move across the city. Complete the ritual.
When? Or at least that's the idea. We are gonna need knockdown for this matchup.
Time's done.
I'm going full disruptor, Calico.
I got more where that came from.
Failed.
Repositioning.
Bullshit on that. I don't understand the freaking tracking on this thing.
Look who's ready for a 2 a.m. metro ride.
Thunder. Death awaits.
Thank you.
Don't mind the blood on that. It's gently used.
Nice.
Appreciate the help.
Thanks.
Here's your chance to shape your destiny.
I see them.
I see great talent.
Throwing gloom.
Great talent low.
Catch me if you can. It's time.
Warden low.
Going to shop.
Now, I don't go selling these to just anyone.
If they come, I'll be ready.
The shadows know their own.
That was dumb.
I see Walden.
They won't evade me.
Your enemies.
Lash is missing.
Let's go for a little stroll.
Getting
Leaping. Urgent.
Warden very low. Nice.
Let's push York. Thank you.
Fuck, I'm too low health.
Ready to throw grenade.
I'm in a bad place. Get back. Get back, get back, get back. Warden is already here.
When the time comes, I'll build a shelter.
They could be coming for me
Oh
any
fuck,
minute
he is
now.
looking for me. Going back now.
Ready to have some fun. This needs to work. Cutting it a little closer
Thank you.
to me, Kelvin.
You're welcome.
Hey, you're making history.
I go there.
Warden very low.
They're about to pay.
Nice.
Kelvin endures
Headed to York.
you all.
Thank you. That's
You're welcome. I see Walden.
Yo, what's up, man? I played with you before. I remember you.
really? Oh, cool.
Time to show off my
Good work, Abrams.
Nice.
Jake. And for my next trip,
I think somebody else is here. I don't know who.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
I'll take pocket.
I'll get into position.
I see Infernus. I see Walden.
And that weight talent's extremely low. Going back now.
it's time to play. Such misplaced conviction.
You'll be the last one standing.
Time to move. Mid-boss has arrived.
Bridge buffs active. in the house.
Bird coming green.
Let's go for a walk.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
I see Walden. If only Ezrin could see me now.
I'm just a spirit child. My friend, survival is paramount.
Nice.
Our blue guardian has been defeated.
Good work, guys.
Comfortably knowing that I haven't been forgotten.
Technical birding coming!
Oh, sorry.
Lash is missing.
Bird, bird, bird. The bird is a word. But I hate when it's like you sit on me.
They can't run. The streets are mine to prowl. We took out Calvin. They won't be safe.
Our yellow guardian has been defeated.
If Interpol hasn't caught me, what chance do they have?
Our blue walker is under attack. Enjoy.
That was weird, man. We didn't do that at all, but still.
I see
I don't know
Vindicta.
how the heck we got that.
They'll die on my hand.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
All according to plan.
Nice.
Let's push yellow. Thank you. Walden is missing. I see Grey Talon.
He's a good girl.
Our blue walker is under attack.
I see pocket.
Fuck me, Finn Lash is here. Get out of here. Get out of there. Oh
I
no.
may want to get back to the group. We took out Calvin.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not stopping anytime soon.
Humility. Our yellow
Headed to York.
attack.
You have a good eye.
That's it. I'm getting knocked down for
Yellow
talent.
needs help.
Navigating.
defeated.
Going blue. Oh.
Heading to blue.
Pocketed so low. Nice.
Our green walker is under attack.
Thank you.
I'll be the last thing you see. Meet your end. Darling, you don't.
Headed to blue.
You can't stop this. Our blue walker is under attack.
We'd be safe in my ice dome. Headed to York.
A little bit of the
Well, you can
divine
kiss my
right
ass.
here.
Headed to blue.
Little hand.
I see pocket.
Going blue again.
Time to die. There is no mercy. Oh, thanks for your help.
Let's take out Warden.
Throwing gloom. Our green walker is under attack. Meet your end.
I see Vindicta.
This will vex them.
I see pocket.
I'll be the last thing you see. To have some fun. Let's get a little strange.
Someone's using that
Rage
noodle.
buffs active.
I see pocket.
This isn't over. There's merciless, and we must respond in kind.
Headed to park.
Okay, I'm going for Lash. He's going for full teabag and trying to be toxic. Okay. If you see Lash, please teabag his ass and be as cruel as possible. I'm going to make a build for him.
I'll get into position. Thunder. Death awaits.
Icy pocket.
Enjoy. My power is absolute. Darling, you don't.
Headed to yellow. Headed to park. Headed to green.
Our green walker is under attack. They come.
Headed to blue.
Let's go to Broadway.
Is Vindicta. I'm looking for Lash. Fuck, he's in blue. Blue might be lost.
Let's push green.
Mother.
Icy pocket.
If I wanted to listen to arrogant flats, I'd go to Washington. It's mine now.
Headed to park.
Dramatic, stylish, I love it.
I'm coming for that Lash. Oh crap, Bebop.
The dark will claim.
Oh well. Have fun, that's what I like.
Ava! Leaping.
I see Lash.
Where is he?
Headed to park.
Okay, go in there.
They will be. Throwing gloom.
Careful, Calico.
Come on, don't run away. Oh, fuck.
Headed to green.
If I'm going out on my own, I need to keep my wits about me.
Nice.
Pull back.
They'll die by my hand.
fuck I'm getting on chemical fire.
They're about to pay. Meet your end. Let's see if they're prepared.
Headed to green.
Crap, going green too.
Park needs help. I see, Warden. I see great
crap.
talent.
We need to go yellows, that sucks.
Let's go yellow. That's me.
Thanks for the assist.
Bailed out by my head.
Green needs help. Let's push yellow.
Green Walker has been destroyed. I'm the one in control here.
Let's push York.
Nice.
Let the ley lines course through you.
I won't lie. I don't know what that does, but my kid says all the mystics are buying it. Good luck.
The streets are mine to prowl.
Great talent on the roof.
Repaste it.
Nice.
Kelvin endures, as must you all.
Flash is here.
Thanks, Kelvin.
Thank you. Oh crap, I didn't hit them. Fuck.
Soul jar is here. Spirit jar is here. Let's push Broadway. Let's push Broadway.
I've been left here to rot.
Maybe you are a dear.
Thanks for the pickup.
Let's take out pocket. Thanks. Thank you.
Now that's efficient.
Sorry, Abrams. I tried.
Impressive as always, Hayes.
Come apart. They're about to pay. You can't stop this.
Going
I
blue.
deserve the best.
Swing by any time.
Going yellow. Just to make sure if somebody is pushing in. Going blue now.
Catch me if you can.
Group coming in yellow. It wasn't the warden. He already ran away.
Let's go for a walk, Ava.
Going back to blue.
I'm done playing nice.
I see warden. Let's take out Flash.
Where is he?
I see Lash.
I'll be right back.
Our yellow wolf.
Forgot about blue. Push yellow. Defended. Shit. I could have done something better. I'm gonna try to farm.
Oh, what
need
would I do
something
without
because
you, Ava?
We're in a bad spot right now.
I'm ready to have some fun.
Yeah, I'm the Garloid from Twitter. Yes, that is me.
You have a Twitter presence? Nice.
No, I don't know who that is. I just said that.
Garfield?
Oh, thanks for your help, Ava.
Vindicta here.
Headed to yellow. Careful, chemical. I see pocket.
Initiating.
Headed to yoke.
Let's go for a walk, Ava.
I see lag.
Sorry, Abrams. Again, I'm my bad.
The sapphire flame.
Appreciate the help.
Nice.
Take out Holiday.
We need to disarm their sniper.
Thunder. I'll get into position.
Now where did they go?
Time to fly.
Let's push blue. On my way.
Go in blue. Nice. Kill them all. Disruptor build ready. Go back to base. Don't fight there. It's too bad.
My power is absolute.
I knew the sapphire flame could count on you, Kelvin.
Nice. Going back to yellow.
Catch me if you can. Nice to work with competent people.
Jaris have breached
Furnace
our
pushing base.
stronghold.
We could also go mid.
Shadows call and I answer. Impressive, Beaver.
I see great
Anybody
talent.
wants to go mid?
Push lanes off.
Oh well.
Time to move.
There was a time when people valued my services.
It's mine now. Profit.
I see someone appreciates fine craftsmanship.
I'm ready to have some fun.
I shall temper your spirit. I'll get in and strike.
Forward and where I am, also Lash.
Pull back!
Let's go for a little stroll.
Careful, Calico.
I might be dead.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, I was dead no matter what.
I
Then we're
may want to
taking the
get back to
big
the
buffs.
group. Let's see if they're prepared for this.
Nice. Anybody want to
Impressive
go mid?
work, Holiday.
These are your final moments.
Frozen shelters on cooldown!
Rejuvenator is descending.
This is how it starts. Headed to Broadway.
No, I'm faster. You guys go forward. In cat form right now, I'm faster than Speedy Gonzalez. Pushing green too, just because to make sure there's nothing push against us. Pocketing yellow.
Ah, a courier has arrived.
Nice.
Thanks.
Mine.
Capital.
Oh, thanks for your help, Ava.
Go in blue now.
They could be coming for me any minute
Pull
now.
back! Stay together!
Please.
Evading targets.
Nice. One more dead and we may have it on the back.
Has expired. I knew the sapphire.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's go for a walk, Ava.
Rage buff's active.
If I'm going out on my own, I need to keep my wits about me.
Hayes, this is a gun one. You may want this.
Headed to park.
Well, I'm gonna help first.
And for my next trick.
Your people take this one.
Oh, thanks for your help, Ava.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
You're not gonna regret that.
Crap. I'm trying to disrupt, but I cannot do it anymore like I was doing before because pretty much whatever they are as a team. So I cannot fight anymore like that. I'm just going to go from behind, try to kill them. And we'll only fight in team fights. If I continue like this, I'm just going to feed. actually lose this one after so much good fight. The answer is yes, you should try the game. Sorry if I was not responding. When I concentrated this game, it takes all your attention.
Pull back!
How do we approach? The thing is that one more team fight death and we're dead. I'm not going any cat form anymore. I'm just gonna try to fight with the team.
Just play conservative, try to get a pick.
Mid-boss has arrived.
I see great talent.
So,
Stay together. Yes.
Let's see if they're prepared for
Dictum
this.
Blue. Are you guys trying to force a team fight?
I see Warden.
High business happening. Leaving. Pick up.
No!
Nice work.
Shit! Let's go back to base.
The streets
Let's
are
not fight here. It's really bad.
Ready
Fuck.
to trap them in my ice dome.
Well, it's gonna be our only
Spirit
choice.
is waiting
Your
to
ult
be
literally is
trained.
the only thing that can save us right now. Fuck. Yep, literally.
I see great talent.
I'm trapped. Shit. Ah, crap. I pretty much suck in that fight. Sadly, that fight was problematic for me. I pretty much fucked that thing at the end. I was doing very well at the beginning, but at the end I pretty much screwed the entire thing over. Well, yeah, I lost. I cannot say shit after that. It's pretty much, what it is, what it is. Oh, hi, Warden. You play really well. I'm ended the stream, but nice to see people here. Good games. I pretty much fumbled the bag at the end. I was doing well, but in the end, well. Oh, okay, Sukuna. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Still learning, or still trying to enjoy the game and experimenting. Thank you, guys. Have a good night and have a good sleep.